Welcome everyone to the first Metaguild Hangout. I'm Malachi, and in this hangout we're joined by Metaguild members, card game pros, and gamers Kono, Johan, Eclipse, Kartoha, Amininano, and Wolcat. We talk about Skyweaver, the funnest collectible card game on the blockchain right now. Since we all have different backgrounds in gaming, we share our experiences in the card game genre and how we came across playing Skyweaver. We also discuss the concept of win-to-earn reward models and escaping the current Ponzi-like play-to-earn models we see now. We get into talking about the potential rewards for playing Skyweaver and the success that former Heartstone players are having in the game. Later in the video, we're visited by Heartstone World Champion Pavel, and he shares his vision for the future of the game, what he likes so far, and what could be improved. Overall, everyone is enthusiastic about the potential of this blockchain game and can agree it's currently the most polished and mainstream-friendly blockchain game that exists. We hope you enjoy the hangout.
Skyweaver, what is your competitive gaming background, and have you played other card games?
Sure. Yes, I was discussing earlier. I was trying to make it big, even in Magic the Gathering, and later on with Legends of Runeterra, the Riot Games card game. But it always has the problem, the fundamental problem of being pretty tough to get rewards out of card games, considering the involvement that you need to get at the top. So one thing was always for me that's I know I'm already kind of going too far with it, but just as an underliner to my background, I've always aimed to play games that were streamable. They were like actually sustainable, at least that way, because not many games offer that. So yes, I was an Hearthstone pro player. Fortunately, the game was popular enough that I could make it to a pro team and make it as my full-time job. But when it came to Magic the Gathering and Legends of Runeterra, it was kind of an experiment, knowing that either a huge esports scene would come out of them, or I would just have to move on to something else, or just hope that at least the streaming was getting me somewhere, you know. But yeah, many different games. I've been trying to get to a semi-professional level in Dota 2 like 10 years ago. Ended up very bad because no one was supporting Dota in Italy, and because we were very bad in Italy for the same exact reason. But yeah, currently my gaming background has been a former Hearthstone, let's say, card games pro player. Currently, I'm an esports caster for League of Legends and many other games, but the one that I'm casting like full time as a job is League of Legends.
Like moving to Kartoha, could you please?
Yeah, I'll be really quick. So I started from Hearthstone, then Gwent, then Artifact, then Magic the Gathering, and then Legend of Runeterra, and now Skyweaver. So 6 game I played a lot, not including like Hearthstone, like Battlegrounds, stuff like that. So Dota, Auto Chess, Civilization. So I really enjoy these kind of games. I play them a lot, and I think I've tried almost every TCG available in this genre, and that's kind of my main genre, my kind of games that I enjoy playing, and I think it won't change anytime soon.
Okay, so I see that you've played a lot of card games, but like I'm curious, what made Hearthstone click for you? Like, why go pro in Hearthstone?
Oh, it was a really long time ago, and Hearthstone, as I said, it was kind of like one of my first games to be like to spend lots of time, and yeah, it was easy for me. That's why as the time goes, I understood why it was easy and kind of stick to it. But yeah, at some point I realized that I'm good at the game, and I kind of play better than other people, and it was kind of a dream to become like a player, competes with others, and kind of dreaming of a sports career and stuff like that. So yeah, I tried it. It was fun.
Kartoha is actually one out of 3 of us who played Hearthstone, and he's the only one who played like in actual esports team. So Johan, you can ask him some questions related to his experience to be in a sports team.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But we would like to ask you as well.
Are you
Eclipse.
forgetting about me, Eclipse? I know I didn't make much money, but
Did you?
I know I don't have
Wait,
many earnings, but I
but
still
you
travel the
said,
world with an esport team.
wait, really? I guess
Yes, I
you.
did.
I guess
Yes,
you
I did.
did. I guess
Yes,
you
I
said
did.
that you didn't play in a team.
No, I
Did
did.
you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, maybe
Yes, I was in Team Clash. Also, like I was in Team Clash, which was I would say, the very first Italian esport team to actually send people to DreamHack all over the world. Yeah, I went to Austin,
Okay.
Texas, play DreamHack. I didn't get good results, that's for sure, but I still had a contract with an esport team for like 3 years. Yeah.
Could you please tell us about your background, Eclipse?
Yeah, I played Hearthstone for 5 years on like semi-professional level, since I never got to play for a team. So yeah, I was doing it by myself. And I tried almost every popular card game that exists, like all of those which were mentioned: Magic, Runeterra, Gwent, and a lot of unknown ones. But yeah, Hearthstone was my first pick, and now Skyweaver. And
Okay.
as for Magic and Runeterra, I didn't really like them, so they were not interested for me for some reason. I don't know.
I think around there, like the only who play this is the league players. Most of them. I played Runeterra just for the league content, and I reached the platinum rank, I guess, and I quit because of I didn't like a card who keeps playing against it.
I brought proof for Eclipse. Can I show?
Yeah, show, please.
This is my team jersey. So yeah, I
Let's
could
go.
have potentially bought it. That's definitely the case. But no, this is actually the jersey for Team Clash.
Can you send it to me?
No, that's going to be extremely valuable. So,
I actually know that team, like, from those
Yeah.
times.
I too.
Okay, so I wasn't one of the good ones. Maybe you know Pool 8 and Meave Donovan, the girl. They were doing well.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I was a cheerleader, but that's another argument.
Eclipse, what was the obstacle that kept you from going pro? Like, what were the difficulties you've encountered since?
I was so
like-
bad. So like, there is no team for me because I'm so bad.
No.
It's kind of hard to get into a good sports team. Like, you need to be very consistent, and Hearthstone is a game that makes it really difficult to be consistent. So you need to show some pretty good results to be noticed by some team, and yeah, you can just do it quickly.
Malachi, do you have any background in card games?
Yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm just
That's
kidding.
cool.
I'm
This
just
game I haven't played. Yeah, sure.
I played it too. It's really good. I like that game.
No, I used to play that when I was like really young, but no, I have like very minimal experience playing card games. I'm trying to play Skyweaver. It's like really overwhelming though, trying to understand everything. But they make it really easy to get into it. So I'm like level 60 now or something like that. So, yeah, I like Skyweaver and I want to learn it as my first card game to play.
So like, let's move on to the next point. Yeah, this is a nice segue. So, how did you get to know Skyweaver, and what made you wanna try it out, basically?
Poligine.
What made Fuligine got you into Skyweaver?
Yeah. You knew
Oh.
that I was looking for. I mean, to me, it's always like I can understand the point of view of Kartoha. Like once you have the fundamental knowledge about how to get good at card games, it is not something like specific to that card game. You have a skill set that you develop through different card games. So whenever a card game comes out, I know that I will eventually do well. Maybe not super well because I'm really emotional, inconsistent. I get distracted really easily and that type of stuff. But yeah, I definitely am above average. So whenever a good game has a promising esports scene or any type of rewards related to it, I definitely want to join in and try. And with Skyweaver, it was it was clear from the first game that I played in discovery mode, which is the selling point for me to the game that we'll eventually discuss. Once I knew about discovery, I knew that this game is here to stay for a long time. It's such a it has such a longevity as a mode, and we'll eventually discuss that later on. But that's what made me fall in love with the game. Not really the rewards aspect. They kind of came later because Fuligine was telling me that, yeah, maybe you will eventually get a couple pizzas a month as a reward for playing Skyweaver. That was like, yeah, I mean, whatever, okay, fine. And good players know that you get way more than that if you're good. Like with top players in Metaguild, we're talking about thousands a month. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed the experience of getting immediate rewards, and that also helped me out a lot with my emotional side as a player. I was really emotional because I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, very simply. So the fact that I can just hold on for a couple more conquest runs, and if I stay focused, I will eventually get my reward. It puts me at such peace that I really want to play more games, and I can grind for hours without even realizing. While with Hearthstone, you hit a brick wall, you lose like 300 positions in Legend, you know you're never going to get those back. That's not the case with Skyweaver. You can just run a couple more runs in Conquest, get your golden card, get your $20 or whatever that is, and be happy, and that makes your day. That's so addictive as a feeling, and that's so rewarding. I mean, as I said, we're talking about thousands a month if you're good.
We discovered Skyweaver in Metaguild. I think it was August or September. So one of our members, Doppelganger, showed us the game and said it's good. And at that time, Axie was booming, growing. So it was kind of not really interesting to see at any other games where you have Axie, like ecosystem is exponentially growing and stuff like that. And I still remember I opened the game. I went like through tutorial and I saw it's a good game, nothing more. And then I returned to it after I think 1 or 2 months, and only then I started understanding that actually the game has really good mechanics, and I can say that. It kind of learned. I can see that this game learned from his previous, how to say, parents like MTG and Hearthstone. It fixed its mistakes. It kind of has its own approach. It introduces new mechanics, new ways of playing this kind of collectible or tradable card game. So yeah, I was one of the first Metaguild members that played. I think I played even more before the release than alpha than right now, and I still play it right now just for fun. And I really enjoy it. I think the game has a really great potential.
I mean, Inano, did you try Skyweaver at all?
Of course.
What's your opinion as like a newcomer to this genre?
I don't like the type of the game. Like you hit a card with a card. Like that's weird for me. Maybe if there were like character hitting a character, I would play it. Even though this is like a weird argument, but this is my opinion. So I like card games, but when you because it's weird. Like you hit a card with a card -1, -1, -5. That's like
Okay, but what made you wanna try it out? Was it the money or what? Like,
no,
did you
I
hear
tried
that?
it. Like I was even joining Kartoha's stream and trying to understand, even though there was a lot of different cards, but the animation of I didn't find it like that attractive, to be honest.
The thing with Skyweaver, in my opinion, is that especially if you play Discovery, which is the can I just explain the format real quick so we know what we're talking about? Like, yeah, I'll just give a brief explanation of what Discovery is and what brings new that's really new to the genre. So Discovery makes you play a deck that's randomly generated around a specific class or hero, as they call it. So you have an idea of what the hero does and the playstyle, the possible playstyles that it has, but the deck is never the same. So you cannot rely on just memorizing your ideal curve of turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 cards. You have to know how to be flexible around that hero. So that's something that's really hard to master, in my opinion. It's not something that immediately clicks to newcomers, but that's what is going to eventually keep them glued to the game. Because with Hearthstone and constructed card games in general, I feel like they burn really quickly. It's really fast approach, getting your first deck done, getting your very first few games done correctly, developing the right win condition, and getting your win. Maybe learning even some different win conditions for the deck in different matchups, but that's a finite number.
Yeah, by the way, I have a question. So, Wolcat, you said you played MTG, right?
I did.
Have you drafted in real life, like with
Yeah,
TCG?
that was my favorite mode. Yeah, I kind of specialized in draft and sealed. Yeah,
So
and it's
basically,
kind of similar. Like, yeah, in a way, it's similar. You don't have to
yeah,
actually build the deck though. It's just randomly generated. So you start off with the deck immediately. You don't have to go through a phase of drafting for your own deck. You just have it. You just start the game and you have a new deck. But I mean, the way you approach the mode, it's similar to draft and sealed, where the power level of the cards is, I mean, not the cards specifically, but the synergies you have are worse. So you kind of have to make your cards work the best that they can. While in constructed, you tend to have the 100% of the possible power level from your cards to actually take place, like to actually happen in your game. In Discovery, it's not like that. You're trying to make things work. You have to protect your units, whatever they are, because it's a fight between who has the last unit standing, and it's very similar to Hearthstone Arena, to Legends of Runeterra Expeditions, to Magic Sealed or Draft, where like units are really important. You have a general idea of to keep them alive. You know when to go for face damage and to finish off the game. You know when to just manage your resources. So yeah, that's it.
So, do you remember the first time you played the draft? Like, because for me it was really confusing. So,
yes,
you can't just really, even if you understand the game, even like if you know the cards, like imagine having 10 cards in your hand and trying to pick the best one from it.
It's
so
true.
I think Skyweaver does a really good job with it. So you kind of you don't need to draft your deck, build your deck. It's always hard for new players. They kind of have no idea what to do, and this kind of format should be the format for basically mostly for new players. So they learn the game, they know all the cards, they try all the cards, they try all the mechanics. And the Skyweaver, you just press one button and you're done. Like your deck is randomly generated, so is your opponent. So there is like not sometimes you can lose, like if we talking like competitive, yeah, sure, you can lose from the start because your opponent's deck is better than yours. But like if we are talking about competitive, then probably it's Discovery is not the best format for it. But for newcomers, it's really easy. One click and you're here.
As a newcomer, I really like the feature where you have in the beginning where you have to pick those cards. I have no idea still what cards to pick. Yeah, I can guess, but the fact that they give you some hint, even if it's not correct all the time, I love that, because if not, I would just kind of be depressed that I wouldn't know which one to pick, and I'd probably pick the wrong ones every
You
time.
mean the mulligan at the start of the game?
No. When you first start the game, whatever
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I follow a lot of developers on Twitter, just to learn more about blockchain and the code. They post a lot of unique information about the code behind how things work. And so one of the developers I follow on Twitter, his name is PHABC. So he posted the beta codes for Skyweaver, and then I learned that he was the creator of Skyweaver, one of the lead, founders of it. And not only that, he is the creator or one of the people working on the idea of this token called ERC 1155 that we see on OpenSea now, along with the people from Engine. They also were working on that token standard. So it's cool to see that person, because he's going to know the best way moving forward to keep this game running, to make good incentives for the game, not make it like a Ponzi type game. And you see that from the decisions that they made so far. But I trust that this game will have good economics moving forward, because it's coming from that type of person with that experience.
For newcomers, like they can they don't need like to be technical about this stuff. So basically, when in Metaguild we started playing, we just help our players. We send them USDC on their wallets. So they need $5 for 3 tickets, and after that they go infinite.
Yeah.
And it's really easy for them. And as I said, the game is really different from what other games are doing in this space. It's kind of has its own vision, its own tempo, let's say, and it's not trying to be like Axie, let's say, and but it's really good at what it's doing, and for it actually knows for what kind of people it's the game. So I hope that over time, I don't expect, for example, like people that play Valorant mostly, like or MOBAs to play Skyweaver, but I really would like to see a switch from MTG or Hearthstone to this game. I kind of believe that this game was made mostly for people that had experience in this genre. At least it's really good game in this genre, and I see no reason for it to for example, some of our players who played other different card games, like we had a community before Metaguild, like a kind of small community, and most of them are kind of like not believing in genre, so they are kind of saying that this genre of collectible tradable card game is kind of dead. But I really I don't agree with that. So Magic the Gathering is 20 what years old, and still like it had really great years, 2020 2021 Magic Arena, like PC client and stuff like that. So this genre is here to stay, and I kind of believe that Skyweaver is a game for us, for players like me. And actually, if you see that Magic the Gathering is a really popular game, for example, like in America, and most of it used to be like when people played this game 20 years ago using like real cards, and played with their families, and with their like
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Brothers, sisters, yeah, and stuff like that. So I kind of aware of this genre, and it kind of has potential to grow a lot.
Yeah.
Would you say it's easy to pick it up and get rewards, since people essentially play for rewards? I think that's the main attractive trait in in crypto.
I guess, yeah. So What's good about Skyweaver? It's that it's not a play to earn. First thing first, it's not a play to earn by any means. It's a win to earn. To get your rewards, you have to go through a mode called Conquest, where you have to get to 3 wins in order to get a golden card, which is a card that gets minted the moment you get the run done. So with 1 win, you get 1 silver card. It has a monetary value, like it has a USDC value, but you mostly use them as tokens to get to another conquest run. So they serve as a ticket for a conquest run. With 2 wins, you get 2. With 3 wins, you get the golden plus the silver to pay for your next run. And runs, to get into conquest runs, you need to pay a ticket. That's $1.5 USDC, or use a silver card. So I wouldn't say it's easy to pick up. My personal experience with Hearthstone even was getting through coaching first thing first to speed things up. There's no point in you struggling for months and maybe even get bored by the game or get annoyed that you're not winning. So definitely, this game has such a high return of investment that I definitely suggest you get coaching. You would definitely get your money back in no time. Even if the coaching is really expensive, like let's say me or Kartoha that spent like our past 7 years playing card games professionally, even charge you $100 per hour. Let's make it so it's a crazy amount, right? But you would get that in an afternoon. If you're good at discovery, I mean, if you're good at constructed or discovery, especially with constructed nowadays, you can definitely get the money back in like 2 or 3 sessions of a whole afternoon of playing really seriously, really studying your opponents, really watching your cards and playing hardcore. So I don't know, is that easy to pick it up then? I think so. If in like a 2-3 hours coaching session, I can become a decent player and get some return of investment, well, guess that's easy. But you have to be on your own and maybe play for weeks, and you have no idea of like fundamental rules of card games. That could take you months. And so yeah, I would say that's not easy. It really depends on how you approach it.
Eclipse, I believe that our like Skyweaver chat is very active and that we have contributors that are ready to help new players. Is that correct?
I mean, it's not as active as we would like it to be. Yeah, but in general, you're asking, do we have any coaches who would like to help newcomers?
Yeah.
I am.
Well, well, we have Wolcat. Yeah.
I am, definitely.
How much for our Wolcat?
How much do I charge for hour?
Yeah.
When it comes to my students from my chat, I actually charge 100 for 2 hours, so 58 per hour.
I see.
Yeah, you get your investment in 3 days.
Yeah.
You get it back in 3 or 4
My man
days.
Kono is going broke.
What?
Kono is going broke.
No,
I'm going to be coach soon.
Oh,
Let's go.
After
Really?
after Wolcat set hours rate.
Yeah, it's really tough for me to explain it, but people would charge like 200 per hour for Hearthstone, where you had no potential rewards. With this game, I mean, the amount, of course, is well thought. I did not just come up with the amount of money. I was just thinking, like, what if I was playing Skyweaver for 2 hours? Maybe I would get like 3 goldens if you need to get lucky to get 3 goldens in 2 hours. Let's be honest. It really depends on the day. It's still a card game. You might end up playing for 5 hours and not get a single golden. That happened to me. So I was kind of averaging like the time that I spent on Skyweaver. How much is it valuable for me? How much do I actually get from it? And I had also to consider like these guys that are learning from me will eventually steal cards from my hands at some point. I might find them when it's golden card match and they will defeat me. Also, I need to take account of all the years I spent mastering card games and years that I spent also like mastering coaching, because I've always coached in games, and that's a skill that's a whole different thing. So I ended up going for this route of Around 2 hours for $100. Yeah, that's what I'm comfortable with at the moment. Maybe it will rise. It's definitely, I mean, it's definitely like, I consider it a floor price because the return of investment, again, is stupidly high. But yeah, for now, I'm happy with this. And of course, when it comes to like coaching for Metaguild, I already proposed to some contributors that I hold lessons, like generic lessons, not really like case specific. Let's say we have 20 people that are interested. We put up a voice chat. I share my screen. I talk generally about the identities of the heroes, and I wouldn't even consider that like a top coaching. That's not what I do with my students. But for really newcomers, I think that's a session like that is definitely doable for free, and just to have people getting jump started with Skyweaver, I'll be happy to do that.
I would love to join.
So I was
Same.
wondering, like, if you're comfortable sharing such details, how much do you make in a day in Skyweaver?
When I was first thing first, I never played constructed, and I learned later on that's really bad that I did not play constructed up until this point, because that's not the mode that made me fall in love with the game. I'm kind of fed up with constructed overall. I wouldn't be playing Skyweaver if it was for if it was constructed only. I'll make that immediately clear. I'm really into the interpretative way of approaching card games. I'm not really into like getting super specialized in one deck list in those 3 matchups and just grind them over day by day. But that's definitely a good moment for that. And I suggest you get to talk to Kartoha and the other guys that I know play constructed, and that's really profitable nowadays. But in my case, playing Discovery, of course, it's really subject to RNG because you might have bad matchups. You might lose 1 golden card because of a bad matchup. 1 golden card, you lose it because you don't I mean, when I say lose it, I say you don't win it, of course. So you pretty much wasted the run because you didn't get to the golden card. 1, you lose to unfavorable matchup. 1, you lose to bad draws. Fine. In my first month, I can definitely share the detail. In my first month, so from December the 12th to January the 12th, with all the holidays in between, I moved in my new apartment. I went to visit my family, so I probably played 3 weeks, let's say, not 4 full weeks. I managed to go with Discovery only to get around $1,500, so $1,500. And that is my first month of playing. I don't think that's impossible to achieve, of course. I have not the best win rate ever because I jumped right into constructed, and I definitely took a hit when it comes to win rate. I was confronting with Eclipse, and he said that he's currently running at about 62, 63 win rate in Discovery. I don't know if that's still the case. While I mostly ran from 55 to 57 tops. But yeah, I also, you have to consider that I played it on stream a lot. There were some days where I was evidently getting stream sniped, so I had to record and build up an overlay for that. But yeah, I think a good player can run from 57 to 60% win rate easily, even in Discovery. And for the whole constructed part, I'll let Kartoha and most experienced guys talk about it because I have little to no experience when it comes to constructed. I tried to win some golden cards in cheesy ways in constructed, building a burn deck with Fox that just tosses every card in the face of the opponents, and I won some goldens like that. But I know that's not the way to play constructed. So maybe when it comes to that, I'll let Kartoha talk.
Yeah, I definitely have some interesting numbers, but let me start a little bit from the start. So asking the question. So actually, if you're a Hearthstone player, so our Hearthstone players, it took them 1 day and from $5 to $10 to go infinite to make 1,000 from it. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Hearthstone and other card games, yeah, it's a long way. Like it takes 1 to 3 months. So regarding how much time you spend in the game. And yeah, right now, so they started playing, and when Alpha got released, and they never stopped. So they have so probably Nor and the Silvers are one of the best players in the game, I think, right now, and they make 10 golden cards per day. It's like the average, so they aim to 10 golden cards a day.
That's constructed, right?
It depends. Sometimes they play constructed, sometimes they play the discoveries. So they have average win rate of 65%. It's really a
insane.
lot.
That's
So,
insane in card games. Yeah.
I had around 80% win rate when the game was started, because I'm the only one who played the game before, and I knew the cards, and the other player didn't. But it came down to 62. So even I myself have 62% from 300 something games, and they have 65 from thousands, I guess. So it's really like a big difference from this kind of and yeah, basically they made lots of money playing the game, and it was like the only way from them to do it, like playing the game. So they kind of transferred the experience, transferred the years playing card games in this kind of monetize it, let's say. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see. I really I'm really waiting for big tournaments to see how they perform, and actually, like, the game has really strong Chinese players, and it's
LV, and Joker, most of all, that plays 24 hours a day. Shout out to them.
These guys are crazy, yeah, sure. So we'll definitely need to see more competitions in the game. Yeah, that's the numbers.
Yeah, I saw Nor playing 2 tables the other day.
Yeah, of course, they have 2 accounts.
I tried that.
10 cards is not possible if you play 1 account, so you have to play 2 accounts, and you have to play like two games at the same time, and they have no problems with it. They still have
That's insane, though.
65% win rate with playing 2 games.
That's awesome.
That's insane. Nah,
Wait,
those two guys have those guys have a pedigree when it comes to card games. Like Silvers was one of the top players in Europe for Hearthstone, and even Kartoha himself is kind of like downplaying himself, but he got to 62 because he used to be one of the top players in Europe too. So we're talking about guys that did it for a living, like as if their lives depended on it, but because also they're very passionate and smart. And they ended up with these insane numbers. But I honestly think that that tells the whole story about card games too, though. That's like the other side of the coin, because we're talking about top players, and they still got to 62%. So you don't have to expect to win every game. Absolutely, especially if you play Discovery, you're much more vulnerable to the RNG side of the game. But yeah, I think that the multi-tabling is not as easy when it comes to Discovery. I don't know if they multi-table with Discovery too. Can you tell me this, Kartoha?
Yes, I think so.
Jesus, that's insane. That's impressive though, because yeah, as I was saying, with Discovery, you're not familiar with the deck. You need to look at it and kind of develop the gameplay, the playstyle on the go. As the game develops. While with Constructed, you can get away with playing some vanilla strategy like go aggressive, go for white boards and beat down your opponent, go for value, so just hold on to your removal cards and then just remove stuff. With Constructed, you can get away with it much easier, but with Discovery, getting to play multi-table, that's really impressive. I don't think I'd be able to pull that off as of now with my level of energy and concentration that I have right now.
I don't know how much the hero matters, but he was playing Ada as both of them.
Simplest one. It's I would say that the simplest one, that's the more intuitive one. It really just revolves around developing your board and try to hold on to your pieces. And it kind of has of course, it has a nuance in gameplay. You might have to be very aggressive and go for damage and let your opponent trade into your units, while in other matchups, like maybe in mirror matchups against other Adas or other Samiyas or other Aris, you want to trade stuff, so you get more, you forcing 2-for-1s for him and that type of stuff. But yeah, Ada, I feel like it's the easiest one. It's pretty powerful, but at the same time, it's kind of autopilot when it comes to Discovery. So yeah, but it's also really like vulnerable to, in Italian we say, I don't know if that's a term in English, but we hybrid the term brick, and we say breaking the hand when it becomes pretty much a brick that's unplayable. So Ada is really vulnerable to that, because sometimes you have just buffs, but you have no units to play the buffs upon, or you just have units, and just by playing units turn by turn, your opponent is eventually going to like either AoE remove them, so area of effect, remove them, or just have better tempo play. So play that solves your unit and develops a unit for him. And at that point, you're pretty much done with Ada. But at the same time, it's the hero I suggest that everyone starts with because it's the simplest one.
Okay, so I have a question for Amininano.
Yes.
Having heard like these numbers, are you like excited to learn more about Skyweaver or not?
Depending on workouts, like.
What do you mean? What do you mean dependent on Wolcat?
If his coaching is effective.
Okay, are you trying to say Wolcat could be a bad coach?
No.
Yeah, you said that.
By the way, I have some alpha, so we're actually preparing a video guide for Skyweaver. So
Nice.
it should be useful for you, and we can also make some educational content for newcomers and for experienced players in YouTube. So we'll definitely do lots of content in this game for this game.
How about you, Malachi? What do you think now?
Well, I did want to ask Wolcat because you said the prices just increased, right? Is that still the case? For the gold cards?
The golden cards are exploding right now. The game seems to have some issues right now, some login issues. They're usually really quick to fix that, so I'll stay hopeful. But before I was checking out my cards, and they like tripled in value in this week because the game is about to come out of closed beta, and I was holding on to some cards that were minted months ago and have really low supply. So that's another reason why I'm really excited about Skyweaver, because the value of cards is potentially never going to drop. So that's a whole new story, pretty complex discussion. But since the golden cards are minted on a weekly basis, you have 8 golden cards that get minted for that week of conquest play. So once that week is over, the cards are never coming back. So if the cards had low supply because of many different reasons, like for instances, the cards that were minted during Christmas week and New Year's Eve week have like half of the supply of other cards. And I was holding on to those. And those are the ones that like tripled in value these days. But yeah, most weeks a lot of cards get minted and only like a couple of them are really interesting for the player base. And that may be for many different reasons. Like usually golden units are more valuable in terms of USDC than spells because they like stay on board and they're golden. Wow. Some of them actually have constructed playability that's involved, so they are more valuable because people actually play them into constructed decks. Other ones have just, are really popular because they have a high win rate when they appear in discovery decks. So you want to make sure that you have them golden. Because of course, if you have the golden card, it always is displayed as golden even in discovery decks. You don't have to physically put the golden one into a constructed deck. If you own the golden version of the card, if you own the silver version of the card, you're going to have it in your discovery deck too. So yeah. Currently, of course, the value of cards is blowing up because we're about to come out of closed beta. The least valuable one?
Yeah.
Of a gold, just a random golden, you want to know?
Yeah.
I think maybe $18 at buy price, because you have to keep in mind that you buy them for more than what you sell them for. And that's so that the Skyweaver guys can profit from the market, but you can also, you're definitely like free to be trading your cards with other players. And there's tools online where you can actually have a window where you can put the cards, he puts the USDC, and the trade happens simultaneously, like you would do in an MMO, let's say, for instance, in a multi-massive online game.
Do you use a tool?
What?
That's in the Skyweaver?
No, that's not in
interface?
Skyweaver. No,
Okay.
That's not. But it's super free and safe to use. Of course, for the nature of the blockchain, they don't want you to be forced to use the market. But if you use the inbuilt Skyweaver market, of course, you're paying a small fee. You're supporting the game, and by difference in price is also a way to avoid like speculations, really fast swing trading for cards. For instance, the higher a card goes in price, the bigger is the gap between the buy price and the sell price. Like for instance, now Mutici, which is a card that I owned 2 copies of and then I sold many weeks ago, is now selling for $330. But if you sell it, you get 220. And the way that works is that you're not actually finding a buyer for your cards. You can immediately sell to the game, and they just accept the card, and they have a stock for cards, and the prices regulate themselves depending on the request for the card, on how many people want to sell the card, of course. So everything is automatic, and it's super clear how it works. You can read the paper on how it works, and it's super safe, super healthy as an environment. And yeah, cards are not bound to be crashing in price unless there's a reason for people to leave the game.
Okay, guys, sorry, I have to interrupt you. It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we have a new member of our call. Let me introduce you. It's Pavel. It's Heartstone World Champion
Oh,
2017.
champion.
Yeah.
damn, Pavel.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey guys,
Well-
how are you doing?
Welcome.
Hello.
Great.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, we are doing great, Pavel. So tell us what's your experience with Skyweaver, and like, do you like the game? Why do you like it? And what's like your progress? How many you played and stuff like that? So we are really excited to hear from you.
Yeah, firstly, I've heard about the game from Metaguild Discord when I don't know, I don't remember who exactly linked the game in the chat, but it was before the soft launch. So I played for a bit. I played for about 2 hours. Then I stopped, and then when there was a soft launch, I tried it again because, well, the reason I tried the game, because I'm interested in blockchain games and in crypto market in general, and I see a big growth of crypto games. I see a big potential, and Skyweaver seems like actually a good game, unlike many other blockchain games. So I played in a soft launch, and I actually enjoyed the game. That's why I'm still playing it. I wouldn't play the game just for making money if I wouldn't enjoy it. And well, for now, usually I play between 3 and 5 hours, and then I get about 5 golden cards per day. And then I just stop playing because I want to do other things as well. And currently my win rate is between 65 and 70%.
I mean, that says a lot.
And yes, I'm not selling any of the cards. I'm holding every single golden card I get, because I believe in the future of this game.
Do you have the whole gold collection though?
Yeah, I do have whole golden collection, and I have many duplicates.
Great.
Because if the game has a good future, then what's the point exchanging cards for dollars when later you can they're going to be more expensive.
I mean, look at the Black Lotus from Magic. No one would believe that we would be discussing selling that card or buying that card for tens of thousands of dollars. So who knows?
And I'm actually not only farming cards, I'm also buying golden cards. And I'm also excited about their partnership with OpenSea, and I think I'm gonna buy the golden cards that they're gonna sell on OpenSea soon.
So Pavel is only one player I know that didn't get money from the game, but spent money on the game rather. So,
Hey, I
it's,
bought
really-
cards too.
Well, right now my wallet is growing every day in numbers. It's just
Yeah.
multiplying my assets there.
Wolcat said that it's very unlikely for us to see cards drop in value. Is that true? And why?
I think so. It comes to so in this game economics, let's say, I think it's almost every it's about marketing. Yeah, it's about people getting into the game. So like if we so we were talking about Axie and like changes and SLP and stuff like that, but I think it doesn't matter what changes you do. It just matters how many people, like people inflow and people outflow in the game. So if we we saw how it affected Axie Infinity. I think the same will happen with Skyweaver also. So, and that's what I said before, that I believe the game has great potential to like overcome and be like the main game in this genre, let's say. And this genre is big, and it has potential to attract a lot of people, and attraction to a lot of people. Yeah, it's definitely prices are gonna be higher, and yeah, I don't know how much these cards will cost. I definitely, and it works the other way. For example, the game like won't attract audience, and then I see card prices can drop, but yeah, I really believe in the first outcome more than more the second. Let's say like that.
Would it be fair to say that players are earning $3,000 in value a month, like you know, at your level?
I think yeah. It
Like,
depends depends on
you're talking
the
professional
months.
Hearthstone players.
Yeah. It's
Actually, if you have about 65% win rate, and if you play 10 hours a day, you can earn about $6,000 a month if you're not selling cards. If let's say you're holding all of your cards and then sell them by the end of the month, then you can make about 6K right now.
that's not really. It's a little bit too much. So even this Silvers and Nordic said they played only 5 days a week, so they have weekends, right? I mean, they play all the like from Monday to Friday they play all day, but they have weekends, so let them live a little.
I think no, the Norse said that he can make 6K a month playing this game, and
Wow.
he makes 10 cards a day on average.
But
Just
the cool
imagine.
and sustainable thing about it is that this is happening because they're good. It's not just for everyone, and that's something that
That is not
even
for
casual
everyone.
players should treasure. Like, because of course, if everyone has access to the same amount of money, that's gonna have the same impact as the SLPs for Axies. If everyone can just play PVE and get those out of the game, then it's not going to be sustainable. And if you have to work to get to the point where you win that consistently, where you get to make 6,000 a month.
It is not possible for everyone to get
Yeah,
that
exactly.
much, because it's impossible for everyone to have 65% win rate.
Of course. Like myself, I'm not ashamed to say that for Discovery, again, playing on stream, experimenting and stuff, I'm currently sitting at 57, but I still made like just playing constructed Discovery on stream, playing probably 3 weeks out of the 4 that I joined, out of the month that I joined Skyweaver. It was still $1,500, as I said. So I'm not the greatest player. I played a lot casually. I was just picking up the game. So yeah, as Igor is saying in the chat, you should understand that Nor is winning money from other players in a way. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's not directly like getting the money from them, but he's getting into money matches for $20. You have to imagine that. When you're at your golden card match, you're literally playing a money match for $20. That's how you have to imagine it. So it's not play to earn at all.
You say $20 if you sell it right away.
Yeah, of course.
But you can potentially get way more than $20 if you just decide to hold.
Yeah, guys, and I just wanted to say that yeah, we talked a lot on the stream about money and prices and stuff like that. So yeah, we should definitely say that it's not an investment advice. And I should also say that these people that we are talking about, yeah, sure, they're making great money from playing the game, but most of us, so you can't just go and and do stuff like this yourself. You have to love the game. They actually enjoy the game. Of course, at some point it's even too much for them. But if the game wasn't like that good, let's say, then it will be way harder to do stuff like that. So actually, I think Skyweaver is the best game in blockchain right now, blockchain space. There is literally no other game that people play just for fun. Literally no.
I
So
agree with that.
that's not the game.
I agree with that. What hooked me to the game is the fun, the fact that the mode is new. I fell in love with Discovery, as I said. It's a brand new way of enjoying a competitive environment, but at the same time, it's really good to learn the game, as Kartoha say, for casual.
So assuming that this, what you're earning right now is healthy and sustainable, do you think the players in Legends of Runeterra and Hearthstone would be happy with that type of reward per month?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I have no idea how many players currently.
They just don't know. They just don't know this game exists, and that's the point.
I mean, and that's definitely going to hit that's definitely going to hit the earnings, of course. Once they join in, of course, the win rate of players that came first is going to take a hit, because currently, I mean, Pavel and Kartoha can testify for it. 65 is a very high win rate. You don't get to those numbers when you're actually in the top ladder. Let's say in Top Legend Hearthstone, you sit around 57, 58, something like that, from my experience. Now 65 is sustainable because in his daily grind, Pavel is also farming newbies, and that's definitely the case. But as it's still going to be sustainable, because you have to remember that the cards get minted when the run is concluded, when the run results in a golden card 1 for someone. And that's what makes the card valuable, and that's what makes it sustainable.
Well, in Hearthstone, at the early stage, it was possible to sustain 60 to 65% win rate in high legend. But the longer the game developed, the harder it became, because the people got better, and many players, I mean, had almost the same amounts of skill. I mean, there was some little difference, but there were no huge gap the longer the time goes. And it also depends on the meta. Sometimes there's an overperforming deck in Hearthstone that is difficult to pilot compared to the other decks. And with that deck, sometimes you can achieve 60 to 65% win rate, even in top legend.
And I just know some numbers. So Huntrace, in his year when he became like a champion, he had 70% win rate, and it's only one player in 7 years of Hearthstone who had this kind of.
It's not true. I had 70% win rate during 2017 and 2016.
Okay, you're in Huntrace, sure.
I think that in Master 2's qualifier we had that draw get to 72, but it's only you have to remember that's only tournament mode. So those stats Karto is mentioning are for competitive officials matches. While if you just play ladder best of 1 blind X, you're closer to what Pavel said, which is 60 to 65. Only if you're being the first, playing the very good deck. Only if you're kind of catching off guard the other players. Otherwise, if you're very, 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 very good, you sit between 55 to 60.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen when they open this game to everyone?
I think what happened to Axie. You can see the numbers.
Let's go.
Right?
That'd be awesome.
A lot of noobs to farm, definitely. A lot of people are going to get burned because they're going to spend $50 in tickets, not getting a single golden. that can happen, sure, but I think that's the way things have to be if you want a sustainable economy. You have to be good in order to get the goldens, so that the goldens can actually be valuable. If everyone can get those, where's the point in holding them, and where's the point in buying them? Where's the point in trading them? So eventually people are just going to join in, maybe even just buy the goldens because they want to play with goldens. You have no idea how many players in Magic the Gathering spend thousands on a deck that they make no money out of. They just use it to play Friday Night Magic for like $5 for a booster pack, and they still have a $3,000 deck. I've seen them with my eyes for months and years when I played the tabletop version of Magic. So I imagine that a lot of players are just going to buy all of the cards and probably get the thousands of dollars into the game and just have the goldens. You have no idea. I mean, you should do. These guys know the power of the whales, what they can do to an economy. So I expect great things when the game comes out, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I just want to say that it's really different. It's a change in your mind. So, for example, like we played Hearthstone, and we played a lot, and we played competitively. So we needed the decks, and in Hearthstone, like it's random. You can't buy like a card. You need to buy packs
Yeah.
and like randoms this card and stuff like that. So we spent crazy amount of money on cards, crazy. And for example, people who played competitively, they kind of get their money in return if they have salaries, they doing some tournaments and stuff like that. But still, there is lots of people who just pay a crazy amount of money on packs, and I mean, yeah, they receive fun in return. But in Skyweaver, you can you can have fun and actually like not only spend the money, but at least have possibility to sell them, and that's what I was looking for. So, for example, I started my journey in blockchain gaming on the start of previous year, and my first question, my first aim was like, what's the game like Hearthstone but on blockchain? And there was no game like that. So there was like Gods and Shade, but and I think Splinterlands, right? But these games are bad. They really are bad, and I tried them. Not interested. But this game, yeah, it's really different. And when I found it, really, like, I didn't get it first, but as I said, after 2 months passed by, I understood that that's actually what I was looking for in blockchain, and that's a paradigm shift that I was looking for, and I found it, and I was happy with it. So right now I play Skyweaver, and I play Civilization because like it's fun for me, but no other games needed. So I really hope to see Civilization on blockchain one day.
So now that you played the game for quite some time, what keeps you interested in it?
I think I'm into that kind of games. Like since I played Runeterra, so I will give it another try. I played it. I played the tutorial and some couple of games, but I gave up on that because I kept losing. And maybe I will give it a try after Wolcat coaching.
To me, what's keeping me glued to the game, as I said, it's a combination of two things. So first thing is that I've always been a fan of drafting and sealed in Magic the Gathering, which is the mode where you have to actually build your deck with what you have and make it work. So I'm a huge fan of Discovery mode in Skyweaver that has you improvise with the deck that you get. And also what's really healthy for me as a person, like after 7 years of competing in card games, I know myself very well, and I know that I need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So even if I get a very bad afternoon, I get a very bad session, I get like 7 losses in a row at the first game, which definitely happens to me still. Then I know that I can move on, make another run, and that I will eventually get the rewards if I work hard, if I focus and I play well. And those two things, it might sound like really easy things, but Hearthstone didn't have that. Hearthstone did not have that. You would lose your ranks, you would lose your progress, you would feel miserable, you would want to quit the game, you would scream at your monitor. So that's definitely something that doesn't happen with Skyweaver. You keep your mind straight, you get good, you play well, you get the rewards.
Yeah.
For now.
Perfectly said. What do you mean for now?
I mean, I don't know. Like as games advance and people get more competitive and the skill gap closes, then it gets hard, and that mental, the mental part of it becomes harder too.
Sure.
But yeah.
That's the price to pay to have more people interested in the same thing you are aiming for, though, you know? So,
Yeah.
of course, having higher competition means that there's going to be more people wanting to not just cashing in on the cards, also owning the cards and building decks around those cards. So, I guess that's a good price to pay. That's what keeps the game sustainable. So, definitely, yes. I might just end up losing to better players, but that's always been the case for every game ever. So, definitely. Let's go.
Yeah, it is
Keep more good players to it.
It is a necessary evil.
Yeah.
For me, I'm interested to see how what they're gonna do with the esports. Are they gonna make esports structure? Are they gonna make big tournaments? I'm really interested to see how they're gonna develop the esports in their game. Assuming they will.
I'm pretty sure they will because they have everything for it. They really have everything.
They already announced the tournaments that they're gonna fund the prize pool from sales on OpenSea. That they're gonna do it on 15th February. But that's probably just gonna be small community tournaments. But that I assume that's just the beginning. They might do some big tournaments later on as the game develops.
So I asked you, I think 1.5 months ago, will you see yourself being an Oxy world champion, right? And you said, kinda, not really. Can I ask something about Skyweaver? Can we see you as a Skyweaver world champion in the future?
Maybe I will try. And there's never a guarantee that you will become a world champion.
Yeah. But with your approach, I think it's possible. But there are some people that play crazy amount of time and crazy good in this game. I'm pretty sure they are better than you, me, and even our Metaguild players. As I said, Chinese guys are crazy, and but it's interesting. As I said, it's interesting to see. I really am looking forward to the.
I don't think there's a big of a skill difference in.
I understand. Yeah,
the only difference that I see that some people who started playing in alpha way earlier than the soft launch.
Sure.
But I feel like I play as good as them, and the only difference, if not better, and the only difference is that they just have better knowledge about decks because they experienced different meta games, and they just have more experience in other decks. But for example, the decks that I have played decent amounts of time, I don't think that they can pilot these decks better.
Better than you.
Better than me, better than Silvers, better than Nor, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to continue that. I really am looking forward to Skyweaver, like esports scene, big tournaments, esports system. As I said, they have everything. I'm pretty sure they have a money income to the game. These fees, marketplace fees, and we see like card prizes. So I'm pretty sure they will do, and there will be lots of competition, and that's actually what I'm looking forward to myself too. Maybe not I'm not sure if I have this kind of energy and passion to compete in the game, but surely it's interesting for me to see how it's going to develop, because I still follow competitive scene from almost any games, every game I played. So it's really one of still my passions. So I enjoy watching really good guys, players that are really good at the game.
I guess Kartoha's energy from Heartstone is back. He want to compete.
I wanna point out one moment. What developers team is doing. They're releasing updates every 2 weeks, and it keeps game fresh. There is no how it was in Hearthstone, where they could release a shitty update and keep it as it is for 3 months
For
while
6
players
months
are
even.
upset. And there is not the case in Skyweaver.
Yeah, we
And
had
that's
really some bad memories from Hearthstone.
that's
Jesus, everyone
one
has.
of the
Everyone
reasons.
competing in Hearthstone know how miserable could be. Like months with obvious balancing requirements. Like any decent player would be able to point out what cards were absolutely wrong. And in Skyweaver, they also have no fear of buffing cards that are not getting played a lot. They have no fear in making very small nerfs to see if the card does a little better, is more balanced. While with old school card games, like at this point I call it old school, but it's relatively new to the genre. Hearthstone, you would have to wait for months to get a card out of your way because of the rotation of how it worked with standard. But yeah, that's for another story. But I mean, yeah, I agree with Pavel. The way they balance the game, it makes it so fresh and sustainable, even like on a game design standpoint.
Sorry, that wasn't Pavel. That was Eclipse.
Oh, I'm sorry, I confused them.
But I'm agree with that. That's one of the reasons why I have faith in the game, because in the future of the game, because I see how they're making it work. They're making, as you already said, balance changes every now and then, and outside of that, they also make a lot of improvements just on the interface or other small things, but small things are important, especially when you combine them.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of thought they put into getting traditional game players to play this type of crypto game. They have their own Horizon Games created their own wallet system where you can sign in through Twitch or Facebook or all these other social media platforms without even having to have a private key, which will make it a lot easier for all these Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra players that do find out about this game to come in without knowledge of the blockchain at all. And then also understanding that crypto is volatile. And so they make this marketplace that's all in USDC instead of Ethereum or Matic. So that way, players don't get hurt by the overall market changes as much. So they really thought out the different mechanisms behind creating a sustainable game.
It's interesting. It doesn't correlate that much with Bitcoin. For example, when Bitcoin is going down, usually the whole crypto market is going down. But I saw Bitcoin going down, but cards in Skyweaver go up in value.
There
Crypto
goes
market.
technical analysis from Pavel. Yeah,
It's some technical analysis. Crypto market going up. Cards in Skyweaver is still going up, which is surprised me.
Because yeah, many players are actually enjoying the game. It's actually a valuable card game out there for competitive purposes or for just casual play. That's the thing. It doesn't. You don't have to think about Skyweaver as just an investment. There's just another project on the launchpad that you need to get your money on. Just enjoy the game and rest assured that this will be a good experience. Like for those who already play strategy games and card games, definitely, but even for casual players that never tried to compete in a card game. I think this is a very good system, like even on a mental standpoint, even on a psychological standpoint, because you get good, you get your rewards, you know where you went well, and you know what to fix. And that's definitely, I would recommend it even as a first experience for trying out competitive play.
Do you prefer the win to earn aspects of the game over the play to earn? I think going through the Axie part, we've answered this question already. Or do you have anything to say or to add on top of that?
If we have no questions from the chat, I think we explained already pretty well why
Yeah.
the win to earn system is way more sustainable. Basically, I think I can sum it up really quick. The fact that a resource is play to earn, everyone has access to it, and of course, you cannot just print money to make people more rich. That doesn't work like that. The more you print money, the less valuable the money is. So same thing goes for play to earn. If everyone can spawn money, the money is going to be less valuable. While we win to earn, you have to work to get there, to win the golden card match, and to mint the golden card that only you will possess. So that's why it's better.
And I also wanted to add that Igor made yesterday a thread that actually Axie is moving from this kind of play to earn where they played PvE, they move into PvP, and that's actually like a valid point. So you're winning, you're getting money from being good at the game, from winning other players, and there is only such thing as play to earn only if there is like growth like in Axie. Let's say it like that. But I think overall, this how to say, this play to earn won't survive long enough.
Okay.
It will be replaced. Yeah.
Isn't every play to earn inherently a Ponzi scheme? Like it has to be.
It is. But lots of
shout out to my
things.
man Carlo Ponzi from Lugo, Emilia Romagna, which is close to where I live, actually.
Still,
in crypto, lots of things are Ponzi, but it's not always bad. But yeah, it's kind of, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is a Ponzi. Yeah, so at least, I mean, the discussion is getting forward. People are actually calling it for what it is. I mean, you can still definitely, you can still like accept the fact that it's a Ponzi scheme and you still want to join in, but you have to understand what you're going for. Well, with Skyweaver, you have no such problem. Even the investment that you could potentially have to make at the beginning of your account, it's not like subject to being less valuable because you came last, because you came late to the party. That's not that's not a thing. Like, so it's not a Ponzi at all. Once it's win to earn, it automatically like removes the definition of Ponzi out of the equation, because you have to like earn. Like it's the word earn actually gets the meaning for what it's there.
And in crypto, so it's kind of like it mostly accepted this term, and right now there are big projects and games being built, and they're not doing tokenomics; they are doing Ponzinomics, and that's completely fine with people, and they're kind of saying upfront that yeah, it is a Ponzi, but so what? It works. So I don't see like it's really bad as a bad thing, but yeah, being able to say it up front is good.
How do you envision the future of the game? Do you believe it can become an esports?
Well, personally, I think that I think I mentioned it earlier when we were discussing the Axis Infinity esports scene, esports future, esports vision. I think that every type of card game and strategic game needs to have a competition, an environment that's esports, because the game itself might not be the most exciting one to play. As I said, you might play League of Legends for 10 years or Valorant for 10 years, CSGO, Dota, of course, because the game is exciting in every single moment of it, and making the play, it gives you the rush that you need to be motivated to play the game. Sometimes that's not the case with card games, and that's where the esports scene comes in to make it fresh, to keep it relevant, to keep it interesting. So I think that at least every card game needs an esport to be like a business card for the game, like something that kind of sums up how competitive and good and interesting the game can be. So I definitely envision Skyweaver pulling out some very interesting esports scene with that starts from the roots. Everyone can join in. Maybe you have higher tier tournaments with invited players from the top of the ladder. Sure. Maybe you have streamers showdowns. That's really good to popularize the game. Yeah, definitely. That has to be one. I don't know how much they would have to invest on it because the game is really interesting and sustainable and rewarding already. So you don't need an esports scene to reward your top players. You need an esports scene to make the game fun to watch, fun to like build a community around. That's what I envision for the game.
Thank you, Wolcat. Pavel, what are your thoughts on this matter? Do you see an esport in Skyweaver?
Well, we said a lot of good things. I want to say a bad thing. The problem with Skyweaver is that it has a lot of obstacles for new players to come. For example, they restricted access to their game for people from some countries. For example, China. One of them is China. Then CIS countries, which includes Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and many other countries. And in order to play that game from that countries, you have to use either VPN or proxies, which is a huge obstacle for a regular player. They just want to try out the game. And the more obstacles there is, the less chance that someone will try and play the game. And that's a big problem. And another problem is that I mean, not people are got into crypto space yet, and I mean, in order for someone to try the game, he has to figure out how to get his money, how to transfer his money into crypto, into blockchain. Has to do some little research, which is another obstacle for a regular player. And that is why I don't think Skyweaver will overtake Hearthstone, for example. But still, I mean, I do believe in the future of this game for the reasons that we talked about before, and I'm sure they will implement some esports structure because the competitiveness of the game, that what keeps people playing it. Yeah, people need to compete for something, and they need to have a goal to stay in the game. So I think they will implement in this first structure, and even though there are a lot of obstacles, I still think the game has a bright future. That's my thoughts.
Thank you for your take. Like these issues you brought up are very, very important. I think even Eclipse met like an issue similar to what you did, similar to what you described, and I think Kartoha has could have something to say on this topic.
Yeah, so yeah, Pavel said the game really has. So it depends how you see it. So yeah, it has some technical difficulties with VPNs and CIS countries. So like people play with VPN and stuff like that. I don't really think it's a big issue, but yeah, it is not good for the game, definitely. But I kind of said it before, and if you look, for example, Pavel said this game is not for like massive adoption, and I kind of agree with that. So I agree, it's not Valorant, right? It's not
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
So and it doesn't need to be. It doesn't want to be. So I'm pretty sure this game and game developers, they're aware they know for who they're building the game, and they already did it. So, and players like me, when we get into the game, we see that this game is for me. This game is like for card game players, and there is lots of them. Of course, it's kind of like genre, not as wide as MOBAs and shooters and stuff like that. But even Hearthstone was one of the biggest games. Like, even though it's not really like way harder than Hearthstone. I wouldn't say that. So it really has potential, but some Russian people like to talk to say that games like this are for smart people. So like if we take chess, for example, like Russians are really like overall were good at chess, and there was kind of like elite club, like they were like said that they're just way smarter than other people, and I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but actually this game is not for everyone, but it has a really good potential for the people who are interested in this genre, and there are lots of people who are interested. So I never sold the golden card, and not going to in the near futures. And it says about like my approach to the game. So I really believe in this game. I really like to see more of it, and its development and getting big. And I want to participate in it. I want to help it. So that's what we are trying to do in Metaguild. Also, we are trying to find the ways and approaches to help this future that we see for the game actually happen.
Yeah, thanks. Though we still have to recognize the Skyweaver's team efforts in terms of like making the game as easily accessible, like as easy as possible to newcomers, as Wolcat pointed out earlier. So they're definitely doing something different, and as Igor stated in his tweets, they're what is the word I'm looking for? Like innovating in this field. So yeah.
It surely is innovative. Yeah, it surely has its own approach and its own mechanics. And so if we just look at history, so Magic the Gathering developed from like Dungeons and Dragons. I think there is a theory like that, and then Hearthstone developed from Magic the Gathering mostly, and there was some in between games, but there were lots of tries to make a next step after Hearthstone, and we saw lots of different games who tried to do that, and they're not really. So we can say that Legends of Runeterra is kind of succeed in it, but not really. And I believe that Skyweaver can be this next step after Hearthstone, and we haven't. I think we haven't seen this step yet.
One of the reasons why Hearthstone got so popular in the first place is that, in my opinion, is that because it has a big story behind it. I mean, the Warcraft 3 initially was a really big game, and then it developed into World of Warcraft, which became the most popular MMORPG. And I mean, Hearthstone is the game that is based on Warcraft history, and I am personally the main reason why I started playing Hearthstone is because I was a fan of Blizzard games before Hearthstone was a thing. And I didn't even play much card games before Hearthstone got released. And I was a big fan of Warcraft 3 as well. And
You used
that's
to play World of
basically-
Warcraft?
No, I didn't play World of Warcraft before. So I used to play Warcraft 3.
Yeah, same.
And that's the main reason why I started playing Hearthstone in the first place, as well as many other people's. And if you take other card games, they don't really have a story behind them like Hearthstone did.
Yeah, but some games could make a story, right? Like Warcraft. They gotta start somewhere.
Okay, guys. So I think this concludes it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Pavel for featuring.